Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. Chelsea Debate Show is back. This is something that we used to do quite a lot a little while ago. But obviously, lots has happened with Chelsea since, and I thought now's the right time to discuss the owners, talk about the owners, the progression, the non-progression. Get your thoughts and feelings in what you think of the owners and what they've done up to this point. I've got some stuff for us to go through in regards to the owners, in regards to what is the future for Chelsea as well. What do we think the idea is? The pieces of the puzzles are slowly being put in, slowly, piece by piece. Still hard to present an actual image, but what we can do is assume on what we already know. And what we already know is the business that we've done so far under Bowley, off the pitch and on the pitch, which we're going to discuss, and maybe try and understand the route that Chelsea are trying to go to down the long run, and open it up to you guys, because you guys will have the opportunity to come in and have your say in this show today as well. Smash the likes, as always. Please subscribe if you're new to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. On GNA TV, we're on the road to 10K. I was going to say 100K then. 10K subscribers. So if you're new to GNA TV, please subscribe. And on the same with Chelsea Fan TV, on the road to 200K subscribers over there. So please make sure that you're subscribing, hitting them likes. Lots to get into, lots to talk on. Let's get into this. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you guys are having a pleasant day already. Over 150 of you guys tuned in already. Big up to every single one of you guys. The debate show is back. We are talking about the new owners, where we're currently at the moment today with what they've done with Chelsea. And then we're going to try and work out and, say assume, but, kind of guess in many ways what the idea is for Chelsea moving forward. What do we think the plans are? What is the project? What is the philosophy of this club? What are we looking to do? We're going to try and get into that as well. In the meantime, we are going to open up the lines as well, give you guys the opportunity to come in and have your say and get involved as well. This thumbnail is more like it. Big up to Chelsea OG. Yeah, it's not a bad thumbnail. Actually created by Ads as well. One of the guys that does our thumbnails here. So big up to him. Let's quickly go through the chat. I'm a little bit against time today because I've been so busy with work. So I'm going to try and smash this out and get the lines open as well, guys. Big up to RJP. Big up to Lee Taylor is in the house as well. I think the owners are building an exceptional squad with depth. Let's see where we go in the next 2 years. That's his thoughts on that as well. Rohan, nice to see you. Steve, as always in the chat, big up to you. Pez Lord as well. Do you remember Arjen Robben's first game for us? I got a feeling Mudryk is going to be that. Mudryk could potentially play against Liverpool. He is, and we're going to talk about it in a second. Training with Chelsea today. We do need a midfielder. Ben Jacobs will be joining us on Friday to give us some more news in and around Chelsea Football Club. What is the circumstance of the midfield? Will we look to buy in that position? We'll see. Big up, Hazy. Nice to see you, bro. I hope you're well. He's at work as well, fitting carpets. Big up to you, my man. Thank you for tuning in as well. As always, Ash, nice to see you. Jacob, nice to see you. Bia. Who else we got here? Riley. JP's in the house. If we get Caicedo, does that eliminate Enzo? No, because we need both. We could potentially get one or the other in summer or one in January. If we're serious about sorting out that position, and that's the biggest question. Are Chelsea going to go and spend the money in this January transfer market for a midfielder? We'll have to wait and see. Big up to Vic as well, Chelsea OG. As long as this debate, let's talk about it, innit? Let's talk about what we know. Luca, nice to see you as well. Andreas is in the house. Tabs, nice to see you as well. Sean, Kazim, all of you guys. Big up to every single one of you guys. Right, let's get into what we... Before we start talking about the owners, let's quickly just go into some stuff that I've got quickly here. One being very good news, guys. Reece James joins Chelsea's first team training group with Chilwell and new signer Mudryk in huge injury boost. We have back Reece James. We have back Ben Chilwell. And on top of all of that, Mudryk is also available. There's no mentions of Wesley Fofana yet, but I know he's not far behind. He has been training in isolation, as most of them do on the pre-build up to getting back into the first team. But great news. Whether Reece James starts against Liverpool, I don't want us to rush it. You know, I don't think he's played. He's not played for a while, minutes wise. Could he come on for half hour? Yeah, potentially, if he's ready and he's training. I wouldn't risk starting him and playing him for 90 minutes, even though we need him, even though we know we need him in the team. Do we want to lose him again as quickly as we got him before? So it's going to be down to this medical team who have been non-existent to get this right. We need Reece James fit. We need Reece James available. And the same with Ben Chilwell. We need that as well. Big question is, will Mudryk start for Chelsea? Well, I don't see why not. João Felix is going to be on a suspension again for his second game. We haven't got many options up front, unless he sticks to what we saw against Palace. Could Mudryk start the game? He's been playing. He's not fit. He'll be available. He's trained. He's going to be training all week with the players. I don't see why you don't throw him in straight away up against Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think it's going to be good. But we will be doing a match preview for this game, talking about lineups and getting involved as well. I want to say thank you to Nico Gaming Genius as well thank you for becoming a member of Chelsea Fan TV. Big up to you. Appreciate that as always. Ashraf, big up to you as well in the house, and everyone else that's slowly coming in as well. Yeah, Reece James FC. That is what we are. Unfortunately, without him, we do not look balanced. Without him, we struggle to find balance in our team. But I hope Mudryk starts. I think he should. Mount, Havertz, Ziyech, front three versus Liverpool is a joke. Yeah, I'd like to see Mudryk. I'd like to see. I think Havertz will play. I think will Mount play potentially with Ziyech. It'd probably be Havertz leading the line with Mudryk on the left, Mount in the middle, and Ziyech on the right. 4-2-3-1. I think that's what we'll do. But we'll talk more about Chelsea and lineups, etc., at a later stage in the week once we get more confirmation. Also, to add to it, a little bit of transfer news from Matt Law, and this has got to be our rubbish, isn't it? Really, Todd Bowley would no doubt roll out the red carpet to try to make Harry Kane across #Chelsea, but it's rated highly unlikely Daniel Levy would sanction a move, or that Kane would risk his Spurs legacy by moving to Stamford Bridge. What does that even mean? He's still going to join City. That's a rival, Man United, a rival. It's just they don't like doing direct work with Chelsea, and that is a fact when it comes to Daniel Levy and Chelsea, especially when Roman Abramovich was around. They're still scarred from what we did to him with Willian. Let's be serious. You know, I think we could have had a chance of getting Modric before he went to Real Madrid. They wouldn't do any business with us, even though we were interested in signing Modric at the time. They won't give us business. They won't. But you know, would I want Harry Kane at Chelsea at the age that he is? Yeah, he's a prolific goal scorer. He would probably improve us massively up front. We'd still need to buy creators around him. I don't know. I don't think it's Chelsea's. We're going to talk about the new owners next and the philosophy and the project, but I don't think it's the way Chelsea are trying to do things. And when you look at his age, I'm not saying he's massively old, but the wage side of it, the length of contracts that we like to give, we probably won't give to him. I don't know. I don't see him being the type of player that Chelsea will go for anyway, in my opinion. But yeah, Harry Kane. I'm sorry, I'm really thirsty today, man. I've got such a dry mouth. I think I'm interested in transfers now. If midfielder targets to be exactly. So there we go. There's news in around that. Right. What is Mudryk and what is Badishile currently getting paid has been confirmed. Well, this is what he's getting paid. He's getting paid around 97,000 a week at Chelsea. This is less than Hudson-Odoi, and this is less than Loftus-Cheek. This is confirmed via Simon Johnson and Adam Crofton of The Athletic, who, funny enough, were quite spot on when it came to Mudryk before he'd even signed to Chelsea. They did bring out an article talking about Mudryk to Chelsea potentially being something that could happen. But Badishile is another one who's also on £97,000. So the two players that we've signed in Mudryk and Badishile, both taking £97,000. The Mudryk contract length is, from what we've been told, and we're going to look into it, is around, we've been told, around 8 to 8.5. from what we've been told as well. So we're going to get into that as well. Listen, if Mudryk takes off, if Mudryk becomes the player that he's going to become at the age that he is, and improves at Chelsea, develops at Chelsea, and we benefit from him, which I think, looking from what I've seen of him, I think we can. I think he's a top quality young prospect player that has the ability to drive. Remember when I said to you guys that I wanted a creator where he gets the ball and he just constantly runs at players, but also can create. He can assist. He's not a bit like, he's not like an Adama Traore, someone that gets the ball, runs past you, but you know he's assistant. Even though he can do it, he's not he's not creative enough. I think when you look at Mudryk, it's going to be how creative and can he be, and someone that can dribble and take players on. Ultimately, usually are able to create because of being able to do that anyway. So he brings something that Chelsea haven't got. I thought Rafael Leao would have been someone that we maybe would have gone for in terms of target, but this could be a really good signing for Chelsea. This guy's going to come with a point to prove in many ways. He's still very young. He's, from what we've been told, he looks up to Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of the way that he trains. There's been images of him training hard in the gym. He's on it basically. I'm interested. I'm interested to see what he can offer. I'm quite excited to see what he can offer because I just want chemistry to happen. When João Felix comes back in, you've got Mudryk, João Felix, Mount, Havertz, Ziyech, whatever, Pulisic. Are these two players coming in going to bring that chemistry click? That's what we want from the forward line. And on top of that, if we have a Mudryk who's creative enough, as João Felix that helps to create, it then brings something that we haven't had for the last year or two, forward line that can create. We still need a midfielder. We still need a deep line creator. But if we can get it from the forward line, it's going to massively help. So let's see. And I agree with what my Blues 21 said here. We need to move the ball faster in transitions. We do. And when we do move forward, it needs to be direct. It can't be sideways, backwards, shit that we've seen before. So, yeah. Let's see what happens on that note. Now, let's go on to the owners, because obviously the debate is around the owners and what they've done up to date, and discussing it and trying to understand it and then trying to work out what the plan is, the project, the idea. Still very early doors. There's still pieces of the puzzle missing, is what I would use at the moment in terms of trying to understand the philosophy of Chelsea, where they're going. However, we've moved very quickly in a short space of time, coming up to nearly a year, just under a year, that these owners have taken over. Now, Eghbali and Winstanley delivered their sales pitch with 8 to 10 hours of presentations and talks. They put forward Chelsea's case to Mudryk and Shakhtar Donetsk. CEO Palkin admits what Eghbali and Winstanley said made a huge impression of everyone in the room. Now, why I brought this up is because I'd say not on most transfers, but the ones that we know where they've just come out of nowhere. And I think of like Koulibaly, I think of this one. These owners seem very aggressive when it comes to getting what they want. And they do it in different ways. And we saw it with the Nkunku deal that we moved early. It took a little bit of time, but there was no one attacking him, no one interested in him at the time. But because we took the lead and we had negotiations in order, we kind of took control of the situation. This was different because he was supposedly on his way to Arsenal. Yeah, and we're going to read the Shakhtar Donetsk president's comments about the whole scenario in a second, because it leads to the new owners. It gives you a bit of an insight of the new owners as well. But we moved in 8 to 10 hours from wherever we were in maybe the UK to Antalya, sat down, held discussions, managed to persuade the player who maybe had his mind set on Arsenal, explained the project, which I'm so intrigued to know what it is, because it seems to be ticking a lot of boxes for players that want to come to Chelsea. And they're doing it in a way that I've never seen be done from a consortium. This is one of the first in terms of how they're doing things, in my opinion. I think we're one of the first clubs to have this type of consortium operate in the way that we are operating at the moment. Whether if we succeed or not, the later picture will tell. Determining on profile of players that we bring in, and if it benefits the manager that we got and system. Is he just a yes man? Are they just buying players that they want to buy, etc.? These are things that people still question mark him. But there's no doubt that these owners have got a clear image of where they want to go, even though we can't see it. And we're going to go through, obviously, the list of players that we have bought and we're up to point. But when you look at how quick they move with Mudryk getting it done and the breakdown of the installment plan, how we actually got it done when people said it's 100 million, it ain't. It's not even 88 million, which people are talking about, because 26.5 million of that money is add-ons. We then get told another 20 million of that, or 25 million of that, is going to Ukraine. The guy's taking 97,000 a week, and it's on an 8 to 8.5 year project. Now, it's an impressive. It's very impressive. It's a very impressive thing what they did in such a short space of time. Whether we like the deal or not, when you look at the business element of it, on how they operated, how they moved, how, if they want something, they go and get it, and how they managed to persuade the president and the player. That in itself is all very impressive stuff, and it then leads on to my next thing, which we're going to get into in a second. But there's over 370 people here. Big up to every single one of you that are here at the moment. Nearly 400 people, 60 minutes in. Let's get his likes up. How quick can we get to 100 likes on both channels, please? Please subscribe on both channels as well. We are also going to open up the lines after I've spilled what I want to spill, and we'll get your thoughts and opinions, and that's what we're going to do today. But I just really want to just tackle it from how I'm seeing it, give you the image that I see about it, and then give you the image of what I think we're going to try and do moving forward. It might be wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't know, but it's just giving you guys a mindset, a thought to think, and it then leads on to this, which is interesting. Now, I wanted to try and get it up a bit clearer, but I couldn't. So I'm going to zoom into this so that I can read it for you properly. But big up to CFC News page on Instagram. Go and subscribe over there to them on Instagram as well. So this is basically a paragraph, shall we say. I'm going to go through each paragraph about the deal between Chelsea and Shakhtar Donetsk for Mudryk, all right? And it's the impressions of the executives that they got from the new owners when they arrived. So let's read it very quickly. Overall, is that the first one or is that the second one? 1 second. That's 2 or 2. Got the wrong one. 1 second. Wrong one. Let's start with part 1. Part 1. Here we go. So part 1 says, I realised 2 days ago, Saturday, when Chelsea arrived here, the co-owner Begdad Egbali and Director of Global Talent and Transfers, Paul Winstanley, they came to Antalya in Turkey, where Shakhtar have been at a training camp during their domestic season winter break. So basically, Shakhtar are over in Antalya because of their winter season break or whatever, and that's why we've gone out there. Before Chelsea arrived, I did not know they were close. Before I communicated with Arsenal in the same way as I had with Chelsea, even I can tell you more. I met Arsenal more times than Chelsea. Therefore, before this last meeting, Arsenal was close or a little bit closer to the deal than Chelsea. If you don't count telephone conversations, I met Arsenal 3 times. So, taking the telephone conversations out of the situation of this Mudryk deal, he's met Edu's gone back and forwards 3 times to meet him. All right, this is what he's saying. Arsenal contacted the player almost 1.5 months before they contacted us. So Arsenal went direct to the player before they went to him. Can you imagine, for example, the Arsenal coach, Mikel Arteta, the Ukrainian player Zinchenko, and Edu calling you? To have Arsenal calling you almost every day, every 2 days, every 3 days, you can want or not want the move, but you follow the kind of reception and contacts. If you talk about Chelsea, they called me at the end of December and asked if they can contact Mudryk because they are interested in him and wanted to talk to him. I said, no problem. You can contact him. The first time they contacted him was around the end of December or the start of January. They contacted the player and the agent of the player, and they met the financial conditions. So this thing of Mudryk wanting Arsenal, which may have been the case because they were a little bit more ahead than Chelsea, wasn't always the case, is what I'm trying to get at this point. It was always the thing of that he was open for a move to an elite club, and then it goes on to say, Um, where have I lost it? Uh, they contacted the player and the agent of the player to meet facts. That's it. Therefore, why did many people around it have the impression that Mudryk was going to Arsenal? It is because Arsenal contacted him and then Mudryk started to watch some games of Arsenal. But negotiations are negotiations. When you didn't close everything, when you did not close the last dot, then you cannot finish the deal. Therefore, it's just an outside visual impression that Mudryk is close to it. So basically, they've done a lot of work with Mudryk directly, the player, got him excited, a bit like the Enzo scenario with Chelsea. This is what it reminds me of. But then went back to, um, went back to the Shakhtar Donetsk president, but didn't really try and close the deal or negotiate pricing and whatever. So yeah, the overall the final offer was the same. So basically, both offers were the same overall. All right, not approximately the same. It was the same figure. The fixed part, the variable part, bonuses. But if you look inside the first part and the bonuses, it was completely different. So same in terms of pricing, but different concepts in terms of how we maybe approached the contract, how we presented the contract, how the bonuses were set out, how the conditions were set out. There was a lot of different parts to what we were doing. So then it goes on to part two, and this is the interesting part that I wanted to talk about because it talks more about Chelsea. All right. Let me just get some water. Overall, the final offer was right. So that was what I just read now. And then it goes to the different time schedule of payments, different kind of bonuses. Yes, we can talk about bonuses, but these bonuses should be somehow achievable and realistic. Let's say, therefore, in this case, Chelsea was much more serious and fair in some points. When we met Chelsea, we stayed all together. For you to understand the context, it was for 9 or 10 hours. They invited the player and explained to us the whole project. We realized that yes, if you look right now, Chelsea have some kind of problems, but it is normal because they have because they have a transition period from one owner to another. So it's understandable. They would like to change a lot. So when they explain to you the whole story and you look for the next 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years, then you see that they have a serious project. Now, even he knows what the project is for the next 4 or 5 years. It's been explained. It's what's attracted the player. It's what's also ultimately agreed the club to sell, right? I believe they will build one of the best clubs in the world because I am telling you, they are very serious in all directions. Sports science, the stadium side, the commercial side, and on all things for us, they looked very ambitious. Now, that's a very good word if you're a Chelsea fan. An owner that is ambitious, an owner that wants to make things happen at your club, not do a Glazer where they just sit there and they have a system and they just sit there and, oh, you want a bit of money, there you go. No, heavily involved, getting involved in the deals, getting involved with the hire, with the recruitment team that they've built, taking Winstanley with him like Egbali did to go to this deal to close it directly. They're serious. These guys are businessmen. Now, it goes on to also say that, yes, it has these kinds of bonuses if Chelsea win the Premier League or Champions League. Fine. Mikhailo spoke with Graham Potter this weekend. Before Chelsea arrived in Turkey, we almost agreed with Arsenal that there was no chance to close a deal. When they proposed the final offer of 70 million plus 30 million in add-ons, we sat down and started to talk internally about how it will be fulfilled in terms of payment. The fixed part and the bonus issues. We realised we will not close the deal with Arsenal. I said to Edu that I did my best, but it was not possible. I think yes, because if there was no new owner of Chelsea, there would be a lot of critics in respect to us because of these kind of connections, maybe even possible. So basically, they may have not done any deal with Chelsea if it was still Roman Abramovich just because of the war with Russia and Ukraine and whatever, and that's fine. I get all that, but it gives you a real insight to. I don't know if I missed anyone in the chat. Sorry if I've missed any. Well, yeah, that's the whole point, Matt. That's what we're doing. It's called a debate show, mate. Look, we got this deal done because we were quick we were serious. And as this president explained, we were ambitious. We were hungry to get the deal done. We sold them the project, the idea of what we want to do moving forward. Even though us fans can't see what that is at the moment, slowly by slowly, summer by summer, we will start getting a better image. Now, when you look at how we've moved in the window, in some moments we could probably argue it's not always been great. And when you look at the Enzo Fernandez deal and what we've been told and how we presented it and dealt with it, not the best way, in my opinion, and how we approached it, if it's true. You know, we missed out on De Ligt in the summer window just gone. He decided to go to Bayern Munich, but again, dragged out. We overly, when you think about that window, we dragged out a lot of the time looking for centre backs, and it ended up eating up the time and wasted time on us trying to look for what was more important. I won't say more important, but other areas that were more important, which we knew were the midfield, the wing backs, the forward line. To hear the president say that they're ambitious, that in the next 3 to 4 to 5 years, they're going to be serious. And then you look at the players that we've already brought in, the young players that we brought in. Now, a lot of us criticize it because it's like, why are we getting so many young players? What are we doing? From the outside looking in and looking at what we're trying to do, I think the idea is the new era. It's looking further forward to then where we are at the moment. Equally, the issue is you still need to look at the now because you have a manager that needs to be backed. You've got a squad that is struggling, and equally they need to try and balance that. I think at the moment, from what I've seen of this ball to this point, I don't think we can knock them for not trying to get things going. I think they've moved very quickly. Ultimately, they emptied out the hierarchy. They emptied out the board. You know, Bowley and Egbali decided to take control of Thomas Tuchel, and then they took on a lot of work. And that may be part of the reason why we suffered in the summer. We got deals done, fine. And we were happy with some of them, or most of them. But we could have done more if we had that recruitment, if we had that setup. And I think as Chelsea fans, we need to understand that we got sanctioned. We got hit hard. We're the only team that I can think of that's gone through what we've been through. You know, on top of that, you've got these new owners trying to buy the club. And then once they buy the club, they then need to then implement what they want to do. Whether you agree with them emptying out the club or not, they have an idea. And that's my big thing at the moment. They have an idea of where they want to go with this. And I think the youngsters are part of that. I think the long-term contracts that we are putting forward to these players are partly to do or mainly to do with FFP reasons. I think we are working as closely as possible with FFP, but also maximizing the opportunity to go and be able to buy and spend in other positions that we know we need to do. So if you go and buy a player like Madrid that supposedly cost you 100 million, which he didn't, but then you break it down in terms of contract length, how much how much he's paid out, the structure, the bonus levels, the money that's going to Ukraine, it kind of gives you more of an image of that we're getting what we need, but at the same time not completely shutting us down. So now we can look at midfield. Now we can look at a right back. Yeah, we're spending a lot of money, and you add it up in total. You look at the youth coming in, how much we spent, the players that are here for the now, like the Sterlings, the Kukureyas, the Koulibalys. It all adds up. It does add up, but they're finding a way to get it done. And it's going to take longer than one summer window, one January window, you know, equally, maybe even longer than two summer windows, two January windows. But they're acting and they're moving. And whether we disagree with the sacking of Tuchel and whatever, which I'm sure most still do, they have an idea. Whether that idea is successful is yet to be seen. But what we can't knock them for is the ambition. The ambition to get things done and get things moved quickly. And I think they do have their best of interest in Chelsea, to the best of interest in their hand. I think Roman Abramovich wouldn't be selling Chelsea to them if he didn't understand the full image of where they want to go and that we were in the perfect hands. I think he's done that knowing where they're going with this. The fact that they can't pull out any shares for the first 10 years in this club, which is a part of the contract that Roman made them sign, goes to show that they have to continuously keep investing. And I honestly think that Egbali, Todd Bowley, all of them, Schwitz, I think they're all equally prepared to do that. invest. And they've probably took that on, knowing that if they do this, they're probably going to have to really dig in deep before they start seeing a return. And that does include not only players on the pitch, that includes stadium, that includes the commercial market inside, Chelsea as a football club, the global branding. There's a lot. There is a lot that they're going to have to stick in their pockets and use. Equally, you look at how rich Chelsea are, and I don't think we've deeped it too much. When you think about Clear Lake Capital, the owner, the partners of that company, we've even been heard from what I've read recently that one of the Saudi Arabian consortiums who are having involvement in Clear Lake are heavily involved in Chelsea as well. So whatever, but and then you'll hear him Todd Bowley and his riches and like Handros Fitz. It's completely different to a Roman Abramovich. We have a lot more money to move with now than we did under Roman, who was equally relied on in every aspect, creating subsidiaries like he did to pay players, to fund Chelsea like he did, and equally then on the back of that run other companies across the world, which he's trying to do. But it all went through Roman, even though he had cut separate companies up. It was all Roman. The way that Chelsea is set up now is completely different. In my opinion, 3 owners, a massive multi-billionaire company involved in this, and partners that have links to other companies that are valued of billions. There's funds, there's money to be spent in the long run, is what I'm trying to get to you guys. And I think we're going to do that. But equally, I think they're going to be very strict with the players that we have at the moment. And I think they will dump them because they'll have to look at the wage bill, the structure, the plan, the philosophy, how they want to carry that as well. So these are all things that they will work towards, is what I'm getting at. And to look at what they've done to date, up to this point, it goes back to laughing at this as well, actually, from Ed. Big up to Ed as well, that actually put this on here. He says Chelsea are spending too much money. Chelsea are ruining football again. We don't care. We never cared, and we never will. You all deserve it for calling Todd Bowley broke, blah, blah, blah. And this is all to the rivals, because when Roman went, apparently we were never going to find an owner that spends money like Roman did. Sugar daddy, blah, blah, blah. But equally, we've gone and found ourselves a consortium that have double, quadruple more money than what Roman did, and are going to spend and continue spending. But it's the way that they're spending that is the is the key, is the difference. And why they're giving 6-year contracts to pretty much every player they bring through the door is also the fact of why they're giving them incentives, because they know they're not ready now. But what they're saying to them is, come to Chelsea, play in the reserves, maybe go out on loan. Some of them maybe get an opportunity in the first team, whatever. The incentive will be to get in that first team. The incentive will be to get in that first team. And that's what's going to drive these players to come into Chelsea and showing what they've got. It's on them. You're young. We're giving you incentive. We want to value you. We want you to be able to solve an issue in the future in a position. We want to be able to have options in them positions going forward. We don't want to have to keep going out. And this is the key. I don't think that we want to continuously keep going out spending 300 million, 200 million, 100 million. I think from what we're trying to do and from what we've seen up to now, with all the players that we bought, and in the future, I think they are looking for the new era with what they've bought in and how they're trying to move Chelsea forward. And they're also thinking that if we can get a couple of the young top prospects that people were talking about that are doing very well across the league in at Chelsea, and we set them targets and they get to their primes and then they're in the Chelsea team, and we bought them for 20 million, but now they're worth 120 million, 130 million, we've now profited massively on a player that we bought in at a young age for 20 million, giving him 6 years. We now have control, because not only is he making Chelsea better and solving an issue in our system and playing very well, but his value has gone up exceedingly well. And this is why we're buying so many young players for that future. Equally, we can't continue just buying young players and look into the new era. We do need to think about the now. We do have a manager here that needs to get his systems playing. We do need the progression to continue towards that era of when the 21-year-olds, the 20-year-olds will then slowly, hopefully, be incorporated in, which is, I think, the plan is to do, because I don't think in the long run they want to continue spending like they are. However, it could go on the flip side. You spend a lot of money on these young, talented players. They're not really getting as much game time. On loans, they're not really impressing, but they're tied to a long-term contract at Chelsea. We'd still sell them because equally they'll still be an investment, especially if they're still very young. But, you know, I don't think we're looking at it like that. I don't think they're looking at it like that. We already have a loanee system in place, so we're always going to have an income from the loanee side of things. But the idea in the long term is to try and get as many of these young boys to click, to be able to play in the future of Chelsea. And that right there is what I think the plan is moving forward to Chelsea. And people might not like it because they want now. You know, a lot of the Roman era Chelsea fans, I'll use, will want the now. They will moan constantly on social media because they want the now. But equally, I need to understand that we don't have the same manager, the same owners anymore. That's moved on. It was never going to be able to be consistent the way that Roman done things. He done it and he won us everything and it worked the periods that he did do it. And I thank him for it, because without him, we're nothing. Like, in theory, we wouldn't have been anything, in my opinion. You know, at least been as successful as we are, shall we say. You know, he's done his bit. He signs off, you know, conquered, in my opinion, in many ways, in terms of the amount of trophies we won. But now it has to be going a different direction, because we have a squad that's built up for so many managers in the past. Because we do need to empty out and flush out a lot of the players that are within this. But equally, at the same time, we need to address the areas that need to be addressed, like the midfield. So it will be interesting to see what we do from the end of this window to the second summer window in this year. They're the real two key windows that I want to see from our owners. We've already heard how they're selling themselves to clubs, and why we managed to attract players, even when we're in the mud like we are at the moment, managing to attract players like Mudryk from going to Arsenal and coming to Chelsea. So whatever we're selling these guys, there is a clear idea. It's a clear project. The recruitment team understand the requirements. Vivell, Winstanley, Lawrence. And Potter's within all of this as well, and he knows the idea of it. And why he's going to be backed is because of this, because it's not about the now for the owners. They know that the now is a bit of a problem, that we're going to have these issues which we're having because, and let's be serious, of the old board as well, the old regime. Yeah, you could argue that maybe Bowley's added to it by sacking Tuchel and bought a one or two players that you don't think fit Chelsea. I don't think we're buying rational. I don't think Chelsea are buying rational. I think Chelsea are buying with a plan, with an idea. Whether it's going to be successful or not is a different question. I'm not saying it will. But equally, there is an ambition, there's an idea, and they're being direct. And I think as Chelsea fans, we have to give them the time to show us that idea. And, you know, that's it for me when it comes to the owners, for what we know now. And when you look equally quickly before I open the lines, I see people asking for the link. I'm going to put the link out in a second. When you look at where we are currently at the moment of what we bought, and you look at the ages of them, how much we bought them for, Wesley Fofana committed to 18.40 million. All right, we've not seen enough of him yet. But the way the fan base are talking about Fofana, he is going to be the new big thing at Chelsea. So the pressure's there. The money's been spent. The owners have bought into it. And now it's down to Wesley Fofana to keep himself fit and show this football club what he can do, because he will be one for the new era. He's 21 years old. You know, we are building ourselves up for the upcoming years. And that is the truth. Mudryk, just bought in, 22 years old, 70 million euros. We already know the breakdown of that, a lot less, whatever. But big task here. He's come here with an ambition. Looks like an ambitious guy from what we've seen of him of recent. I've read a bit about his story and stuff. So up to him again. He's going to be in the first team. He's going to have to kick on. Mark Cucurella, a Potter player. Maybe Bowley's back Potter, giving him the player. Stop Man City getting him. Comes to Chelsea. You know, some people saying he's crap at the moment. Another one that's going to be here for the long run. 24 years old. He's not going anywhere. But equally, I like Cucurella. I think he just needs a bit of time. Raheem Sterling, another one in his prime, is for more than now. Let's be serious, because we do need to think about the now still. I keep saying this, you know, but equally he's going to have a task to mix with the youngsters, to mix with the now players that we bring in. And, you know, I get why we bought him. I don't think that's a panic buy. I don't think any of these four are panic buys so far. There's an intention. Badashile, what a player I saw in the first game. If you can continue with that form, 21 years old, learning next to Thiago Silva, it cost us 38 million. The guy's on 97,000 a week, like Mudryk. Him and Mudryk are on 97,000 a week, you know, over another 6-year contract. Now, a lot of these guys above are on 5-6-year contracts. Koulibaly, more for the now. All right, he's maybe not having the greatest of seasons, but it only cost us 38 million euros. Not the biggest cut, even you think about it. Again, I still give him a bit more time. I think he needs time to adapt still and whatever. But anyway, we have options in that. And I'm talking about options in depth. Carney, 18 million. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but he's a prospect. And we've seen it already. The guy is blooming 18 years old. Not even 20 yet. And he's playing in the first team. Can you see what we're trying to do? We are trying to give some of these youngsters the opportunity now because of the depth, the weakness and depths and what we have at the moment. But can you see that we're trying to incorporate some of these top youth in the now for the future, the new era? Are they going to be good enough? I think Carney can be, you know, and we're going to have to wait and see. Santos, we haven't seen much of, but again, top prospect in Brazil, signed him. 12 million euros. Cool. Aubameyang was just for the now. I think it was more of a Tuchel signing. I don't think he'll be here in the summer. We move him on, but he's here. Datro Fofana, 20 years old. Another one for the future. Whether he gets into the team or not is going to be on him. He has an incentive, like they all do, 6-year plans, whatever. He will need to force himself into the team. But again, a very young player, 20 years old. João Felix, an experienced young player, 23, on loan, short-term loan. Will Chelsea commit to buying him in the summer window? He's on him. How does he improve in the league? Does the league suit him? Can he adapt to it? You know, they're giving themselves a lot of options, Chelsea. And they've done quite a lot. Slonina for Chelsea. Will we see him ever play in the first team in the future? Maybe. He's 18. Look how young he is. Another one they've brought in that's very young. Zakaria, 25. Came in for depth, really. Could be going back as well, like João Felix, but we'll wait and see. And then there's the Gallaghers that we brought back and Broers, who we know are on 6-year contracts with incentives to get in the team and whatever. But equally, the age of these players, when you look at them, all right, barring Koulibaly and maybe Sterling, you know, is of an age of looking forward. And I think it can continue, but at the same time, I think we're also going to address the nows more. And I'm talking about the midfield, because the midfield is a now. The midfield for me is a now. We need to get that done. You add now, and in the summer you add again, and that's strengthened. But you get yourself some nice, young, quality, proven players, maybe in the Premier League, and you go. Right back is up for debate. Could be a Malo Gusto. Very young. Again, fits the whole bracket, gets a 6-year contract at Chelsea. One for the future, back up to Reece James. And then we work on the forward line. We've got Nkunku joining us. He's not even on the list. Still very quite young. Mudryk. Will we buy João Felix? You know, Sterling will be there, etc., etc. There's a clear pattern of what we're trying to do, is what I'm trying to say. And on that note, as it's a debate show, and I'm going to stop talking now, right? I'm going to open up the lines because there's 500 people here right now. But how many likes have we got? That's the question. How many likes have we got? I know we ain't got enough likes. We got 400 people on Chelsea Fan TV. Big up to every single one of you guys. But only 91 likes. Not good enough, guys. Come on, smash the likes. GNA TV. Over 120 people there. Only 60 likes. How quick can we get these likes up, guys? I am going to wrap up the lines. I want your thoughts and opinions. I want to know, and before you come in, I'm going to tell you this. I want to know what your thoughts are on the up-to-date where we are now with the owners, what they've done to this point, your thoughts and feelings. Very hard to judge, I get it, because we're still very in the air. But I want to know how, from what you're seeing, your vision. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with the way that I've explained it? And also the future. What is the future plan? What do you think the future plan is of Chelsea Football Club? Again, pieces of the puzzles that we haven't got answers to yet. But I'm interested to just know, and I want to do this debate show on the owners once every 6 months. So we get one now, which is why we've done it now, and another one in the summer. Probably once we've started, getting most of our signs on the back of that. That is going to be the aim moving forward for this show. Alex, what's going on? How you
What's going on, man?
doing? You sound like Elvis. What's going on?
I'm sleepy and tired, but
How you been, man?
there's
Anyway.
only. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah?
Recovering from surgery and shit, but
Oh, I hope you get better, mate. I hope you get better.
yeah. I gotta. The only two things I don't like about the new ownership is,
Go on then. Yeah.
what's his name? The hiring of Potter was before the hiring of Vivel. I think we should get Vivel the minute that there was already conversation of changing ownership. Bole should have been looking for Vivel from that point of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can do a couple of things at once. That's why you're a billionaire. You can delegate your jobs. But that's the one that, because I don't know if Vivel would have choose Potter. You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference. And the second one is, I don't like all that publicity that Bowley likes. I don't like that California vibe, like, oh, we're leaking all the reports to all the media before we do and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was that those two things that I don't like.
Well,
That there's a Paris Hilton situation with like no negative, no bad publicity. Everything is good for. You see what I'm saying? Is it a bad publicity? Yeah.
What's your thoughts on what the owners have done up to this point in terms of what we've seen, how they've operated on the pitch, off the pitch?
I'm glad Bowley finally stepped down and let Igbale. I think people actually misunderstand that the position Bowley is. Well, only owns 20% of the company of the Chelsea.
Of course, yeah, it's mainly Clear Lake, wasn't it?
Yeah. So for me, it was more that guy that, like, I like Igbale better than I like Bowley.
Slowly, yeah, okay.
I think Igbale is the one that actually, like, you know what, like, you don't have to like me think, like, I don't give a f situation. Maybe it's because he's like a Middle Eastern, how you say it, like heritage, or how you say it, like. But for me, I prefer him, and I'm glad that Bolo is the face.
No, that's it.
Behind the scenes, I think it's Igbale more than Boli, because he's apparently the one that fired Tuchel, which I don't like, but at least he has the guts and to say something where it goes against the hair, you know what I'm saying? It gets the grain. So that was what it was.
The one thing I would say about Igbale, and we all know from what we know of him, is that he's a businessman. He's a billionaire. He knows business, and the fact, and this is why I highlighted the Mudryk deal so much, because him going with Winstanley over to Antalya and having 10-hour conversations with the president of Shakhtar and bringing Mudryk into this and being able to tie up the deal so quickly. And sharing the project, the philosophy, what we want to do, which we don't know even know yet, the 3, 4, 5 years down the line. That is, to be able to do that so quickly is very impressive. I'm telling you.
You see, this is where I like what I saw. Because if you ask average Chelsea fans, which way are we going in the next 2 years? Chelsea fans will say, I don't know.
No one's got a clue, is they?
But you know what? That, like I said, I was yesterday on the verge of shutting down and coming to the streams for day before yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
And stuff like that with coming to the streams, because I was fed up with all this nonsense. And the conversation that Atletico guy from the Einstein or whatever the guy was, not the Einstein, Davo guy that had with Shakhtar owner. Well, Shakhtar CEO.
Yes.
That conversation changed my mind about the whole freaking situation, because the way he explained how the new ownership of Chelsea, it made me start thinking about it. You see what I'm saying? It made me thinking about it. I don't know what's going on in Chelsea, but for fuck's sake, at least somebody else knows the people that actually do it. And based on who they talk to, because they talk to my people, they talk to Ukrainians, they talk to my people, Eastern European people. And if he understood it, and he's the CEO of this company, I understand what he's saying. So for me, that conversation was actually show me that I don't have to know, but at least somebody over there known.
Yeah. What I will say from what I've seen, and again, it's still early doors when we talk about certain things, but I would say that these owners and this recruitment team have more of a plan of how they want to work contracts, break down contracts, deliver contracts than what we saw from the old regime. I think there's more of a business mindset to this, if that makes sense in what I'm saying. Like they seem to know how they want to go with things and present.
I think it's a little different. I think it was
approach.
I think it was a little bit approach the difference, but the rest of it is the same thing. Because remember,
I'm talking about structures.
Well,
and how we're trying to move forward in terms of what the project is.
Yeah, let me kind of like say what I think, like explain what I think. I know Andrew is upset that I'm explaining, but
no. I just came out.
What? I don't want to know where you came out of, but what I'm trying to say is, first of all, there's reports about if it was Abramovich, it will never happen. Those two owners are actually really close friends, Akhmetov and Abramovich.
Yeah.
So people they saying just to say it, like because of the conflict and stuff. But look, for the point of view from the ownership, remember Abramovich had to say who's gonna buy Chelsea.
100%.
There's no way Abramovich did not, and he picked those two guys to run the club. So that's number one. Number two, he gave a 1.5 billion debt-free, how you say it, debt, to the new ownership. Plus, he obligated them to spend $1 billion in the new, in the new way. So in 10 years. So the difference, what you see and what I see, it's not that the structure difference. I think they thought about it. You know what? Since we just came in, let's do that 1 billion structure, not in the 10 years. Let's do it quicker. Because
so do you think they're kind of trying to continue what Roman wanted to try and do?
Roman wanted, but they tried to do it from the start because the law is about to change in the next couple of years. I bet you about the FFP and because we found the loop in the system right now with FFP by giving gigantic contracts. That loop will be closed soon because when loop is opens, there's always somebody that comes.
Everyone's gonna do it.
Everyone's gonna do it. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna have to force companies to go and to shut down. So the thing is that the loop this group found how to do it. It's the reason we're doing it and doing it quick. And what way is the best way to do it? If you rebuild it, get the youngest, the most youngest talents prospect in the world, and then you can actually breathe. You don't have to spend it in 10 years. The only difference, what you said, what you said, it's right. But what I think, it's a little different. But at the end, it goes to the same way. And if there's somebody made it a really good comment about how actually Chelsea on the FFP spent only 70 mil. This out of 500 that we already spent on the FFP books for the next 3 years, we have to spend 70 million pounds for every year for 3 years. Do you think we made the 70 million? Chelsea have to make 70 mil every 3 years to be compliant with FFP for 3 years. So 70 by 3, 210,000 pounds for the 3 years. Do you think Chelsea can make those 210?
I think so.
No. The the guy that actually said that, he actually managed money. He actually managed money for for EPL FFP. I'll pull it up where I found it. I think it was on Terrace, one of the guys on Terrace comments. And what's as funny is this is only 70. Chelsea can spend the billion. That's only 7. If we can keep going for that, we can find actual in 3 or 4 years. We don't need to spend that much money, but we can add the players to it.
We use what we're saying is we've used the loop now to incorporate what we need earlier, so that in the long run we don't have to then worry about. Yeah.
It's already started. It's already started at other clubs. Nottingham Forest signed that Brazilian kid for 6.5 year contract.
You see, I'm telling you, man, it depends who actually.
No one's made any noise about that.
Exactly.
So, you know.
I know. Bowley did this exact same thing with the Dodgers. He got rid of everyone. He rebuilt the team. He took losses selling all those players. Like a lot of those players he sold for like damn near half the price. And he did all that to rebuild the infrastructure. And that's exactly what I saw. And the first thing, like when I saw him sign all these young players, I was like, he's taking the Dodgers route. This is exactly what he did with LA. And they rebuilt in 2 years.
The money paid back. Big thing will happen in the summer with the new shirt sponsor. Whatever that deal is, it will be a
stadium
big
too.
100%.
Well, no, I'm just talking about
Andrew, do you know what I forgot about that money thing? Do you know what other things that money people don't understand?
Yeah.
For example, Reece James, 250.
Yeah.
That's including bonuses, 250 a week. That's including bonuses. That includes he's on the top of form. That's only when he gets 250.
Yeah, it's incentive.
Because the people that report that, they don't report his base salary. The base salary is on the books of Chelsea. They not showing that. They showing the final.
Which is why I think Mudryk one is more in line with 150 with incentives than say the 97. I think the 97 is the base and the 150 is incentive based.
This is exactly how it is.
Yeah.
97, it's the base.
Sure. Yeah.
It's the base. He can reach those up to 250.
Yeah.
Dude, we got that guy on the handcuffs and tied him to the battery to the pole at the Stamford Bridge.
He didn't have to sign.
I know that. No. I know that. But it's like I'm saying, like, this is, if you think about it, if you think that he's gonna hit the heights that what he potentials are,
yeah, it's paid.
No. I'm saying 18.5 years. If you think that that's the
okay, even if he does hit those heights and say he bangs out for 5 years, still 3 years left, and if we want
that's my point.
We sell him for a massive. We sell him
exactly.
For a huge
that's what I'm saying. That's about to say. So equally, the reason we're kind of doing this with these young 21s, 20s, 18-year-old boys is because there is always a chance that it may not work 5-6 years out, or they might want to play for their dream clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona, which we've seen with Eden Hazard and others in the past. Equally, you know, we are always in control of that, but they for me they're looked at as an investment in any way, in my opinion. Because if it doesn't work, we'll sell them on, and there will be some that means on their contract to the point where we'll be able to sell them of value. We don't just lose them like we did Rudiger and Christensen on freeze and just drag them out. So
and by the way, Bodie's good to his word. He's not doing the transfers. He's been to the Golden Globes and the Lakers game since he's announced he's
who's watching Lakers?
Exactly. He's not doing it.
Hey, up the Lakers. Let's go.
I mean, he's pushing himself by watching the Lakers.
Yeah. The sniffers are here. By the way, somebody in the chat said, I'm for sale. There's OnlyFans for you, man. Just go and open OnlyFans.
Listen, let's go to some other people that are here as well. Let's see what AJ's got to say. AJ, what are you saying?
Yo, big up, guys. No, I mean, I'm just listening to the convo. It's a good convo. I think Alex brings up some good points. But I wasn't one of the people who was doubting Bowley in the beginning. You know, people were doubting him, you know, based off like internet stuff and just, you know, memes and not really. I get that people didn't understand what's going on, but I mean, early in the stages of many things, not just football, you're not going to understand what's going on.
No, you're not.
So it's.
Oh, I knew what we going when we went from.
Kind of put the piece of the puzzle together. But
when Ranieri was the manager of the football club, and all of a sudden we found out that Chelsea is about to be bought by the Russian owner, billionaire. Yeah, there was a quick changes. There's nothing like now. There was
Yeah.
no restructure. There's nothing like that.
Yep, exactly. It was similar to, when Roman first came in. People were, questioning what he's doing. Oh, he's buying the league. That's where buying the league came from. It was from Roman. So I think, over the last maybe 8 months, the ownership has proven that they have a plan. We just didn't know it fully, and it's probably still growing. They're still learning. It's their first year. I think in the summer we bought some good players. I know that a lot of the players get some slack, but I think we bought some good players. When we were linked to Sterling, I wanted Sterling to come. Sterling is an effective Premier League player. I wanted Koulibaly. Koulibaly was linked to Chelsea for 5-6 years, so it's not like it was random. Aubameyang, I think he was brought in for Tuchel. But I do think, he did have some value. People were excited. He runs off the shoulder. He could finish. We just didn't have the players to complement him, unfortunately, in the midfield. I still think he could probably help, but maybe not. But we've bought some great players and loaned some great players over the last few weeks. So I think, the thing is real. The project is kicking up. Hopefully that we can buy Felix and we get a midfielder and a right back. And then I think we're on the way.
I think there's a lot that still needs to be addressed. We know that with especially on the pitch, but also there's talks maybe of potential sporting directors in the summer. That this is other things that we're not aware of. Maybe could potentially be a case as well. So there's still bits and bobs to be done across the pitch. We've got this super chat from C_Nyack24 who says, as a Dodgers fan, I saw what Bolu did for our squad when he came to the club. What's W_Magic Johnson? Anyway, Magic Johnson clears out the trash, keeps gems, builds systems. We became competitive in 2 years, which is quick in the MLB, is what he says as well. So he's kind of saying that he feels it's going to be the same sort of case for Chelsea, maybe a little bit longer, just because of how low everything is at the moment and things of the guttering I'm talking about. Because I still feel that we need to gutter out the squad, in my opinion, and sort bits out. But yeah, I get what he's saying, 100%. Let's go to Bobby. Bobby, what are you saying?
Yeah, big up, guys. Big up. Honestly, I'm so happy with what the new ownership is doing. I'm watching all these lot trying to demonize Chelsea, all the biased media nonsense people of Sky Sports talking this, that, and the other. Which successful business comes out with the full details of their blueprint plan for the media all to see? Nobody's going to do that. If these guys give everybody their full plans, they're just going to take it, use it against them, rip it apart, imitate it where they can, and try to pull down the club. They've given a skeletal view of what they want to do. The detail is up to them, and they're working on it diligently. I think people are really disingenuous with this new ownership. They've only been at the club flipping, 6 months? And they've been ripping up trees. They took over the club at a time when the ink was hadn't even dried on the contract, when the transfer season was upon us. Bowley had to step in. He did his best. He doesn't know football, doesn't know European football. He tried what he could to shore up a team that had lost most of its defense, needed to get rid of a troublesome attacker, and brought in players who he himself has said, maybe I made a mistake here and there, but he's used the money as collateral damage. Now they're really going for it. They brought in Christopher Vivell, brought in Paul Winstanley. They've taken over transfers, and now we're moving. I think if you listen carefully to what that director of Shakhtar Donetsk said about the Chelsea project, I think the true Chelsea fans should be quite excited. Yep. It's like when Roman took over the club way back then. I think we're onto something. We're onto something big. And an indicator of that is when the media start hating us like they are now. Everything Chelsea does is bad. Even the Mudryk deal. Now the truth has come out. We didn't hijack anything. We just went for a player that was available. we bid the same money as Arsenal, but offered better bonuses and a better project. And look at what they're doing. The kid's earning less money than most of our players now, but it's all bonus based, performance based. So they're forcing the players to be on their toes, to be able to give their best week in, week out. I think they're doing a good job. And I think, 6 months in, I think we need to be patient, let them cook, because boy, are they making a good meal for Chelsea. I'm behind them, 100%. Even Potter, I thought was a bit dodgy. I'm still not fully convinced, but hey, look, that's their choice. They're going to live and die by him. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what happens when they get all the players in and really see if he's the quality manager we all hope and pray he'll be.
100% agree with you, buddy.
I agree.
By the way, long time no talk to you. I haven't talked to you.
Yeah, Alex. Hi, guys. Even Gemma, I haven't spoken to most of you here for a while. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
I agree. I feel like people need to stop acting like the emotional side of it because like Roman's gone anyway. So I feel like I do have a doubt in the beginning when Bowley came in, whether he can do what Roman did the last 10 years. And it's just proven for the last few weeks or so now. We just had humongous numerous of signings, Modric and that, and I think it's just gonna grow, man. And we do need a right back.
Lewis, mute yourself.
And yeah,
mute yourself. You make noises like Fatur off camera.
Let's see in the next month's time. Honestly, let's see. We're gonna get more signings, that's for sure.
I just want to add one last thing here. If you notice how all this media lot, whenever Chelsea spends money, it's like, oh, Chelsea trying to buy this, trying to buy that. Now they see money might be coming into Man United. They're all for it, aren't they? Oh,
yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah.
It's pathetic. But you know what? They're in for an even bigger shock. They thought when Roman left, Chelsea would have nothing. Now they've got people that are probably 100 times richer than Roman. And the squad's gone. They're never going to do anything. Once they rebuild this new squad, wow, it's going to be frightening. Look at the forward line they're putting together.
Bobby, let me tell you, they thought that they destroyed one thing. Now they can't, because the biggest allies of UK is United States, which is the owners. We have
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? Like, they can do nothing to it.
Absolutely.
If all of a sudden, if the Saudi Arabia decide to sell something to China, not to Europe, all of a sudden, who knows? Newcastle can be under sanctions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're legal. We're legal.
Yeah, they thought they got rid of one monster, then out comes another. That's what happened.
No, we got to let these guys do their thing. It's really early, and when you look at what they've done in such a short space of time, I'm personally happy to give them time. You're going to make mistakes. That's life. That's especially business, gosh. And business like this, you're not going to get everything right, and it's going to be expensive. Look at the rate of inflation between when Roman took over to now. Back then, you buy a player 30 million like Essien, it's eye-watering stuff. But the 30 million of 2006, or was it 2002? I can't remember now. 2005 is the 70, 80 million of today. So really, it's relative, isn't it? They're not really doing anything unusual. Look at when City when they took over City, the money they spent. Nobody said a word. Those players that Liverpool bought and took over from other teams, no one talks. But Chelsea, everybody's got to try and demonize this club. No, I'm not buying it anymore from these guys. I hardly listen to them anyway. I'm just sick of the media.
You see, everybody, even including me, everybody knows what UK, one of the worst medias in the world, UK. Everybody in Europe even knows that. But we still kind of when the news comes out, we still kind of bite for that kind of clickbait situations. But everybody knows what UK media is. Everybody.
The sporting media, definitely. They're totally biased. The game against Liverpool, my concern is more the officials than the team, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really worried about the officials because see what they did with Wolves yesterday. The whole first half, not a single card against Liverpool upon all those fouls. And you can imagine when they're playing Chelsea.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
true. That's true. Who hasn't said a word yet?
But look, but another thing, like it's the situation with the officials. It's not about the laws of the game. It's the officials that using those laws. It's even VAR. It's the people that actually run in the VAR. VAR is no problem. People that run the VAR. It's the same people that make the calls on the field. So what do you expect to change? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's right. It's one of the things. It's all about that. But I just think that the deals. I still think there's potential of 2 more deals this window.
This window, yeah, 100%.
Like for me, they have to be midfielder and right back. They have to be. I'm sorry, no more forwards.
Please,
no more
God.
Yeah, I think Caicedo's coming by like at least the end of the week or next week.
Today.
Yeah, he's changed.
I'd like another 3 centre backs first, but go on out, Andrew. Sorry.
He changed his agents today, apparently. So that's probably why it's going to happen. But I need to see a right back. I know Reece James is training today, but that doesn't
Chilwell's training today.
Chilwell's
Bobby, you mentioned that apparently the difference between Chelsea and Arsenal was the bonuses. The bonuses actually the difference. Chelsea's bonuses were the actual reason why he signed for Chelsea.
Yeah,
it's because they are achievables.
They're realistic.
Very realistic, based on Shakhtar valuation. They can Arsenal actually see some of that money.
Arsenal put in the Ballon d'Or thing in there. It's like, come on, man.
Okay, so
Champions League winning clause on there. You ain't
bring back Christensen, man. We need defenders.
Why do you
keep resign AC
all the time, man? Let me know, will you?
Anyway, why are we? I hear the back.
It's done.
It's done.
Done. Get off the quad. Here we go.
All right, who hasn't spoken yet? Let's go to Lewis. Have you spoke about the owners?
Nah, not really. What are we talking about?
We're just talking about. Have you not been listening?
No, I went to make a coffee still.
Fatur.
We're just talking about the owners. We're just talking about the owners to date. So what we've seen of them now, what we kind of expecting from. I know it's harder to put an image together of what the future holds for us moving forward, but what are your thoughts on what the owners have done up to this point and players that we've signed and etc. Basically,
long live the new owners, long live the new regime, the new infrastructure and everything. I'm completely invested. I think a lot of people have been very harsh on them initially, and maybe it's because of the quick turnaround and the form since then, but there's clearly a long-term ambition and a long-term project that's in place. We're looking at a bunch of young targets that Potter can mold in whatever way that he wants to. And if it don't even work with Potter, another manager will be able to pick it up, make a few tweaks, and we move on from there. So I've got full faith in the ownership, full faith in the board, and I feel like we're finally starting to make smarter signings. Just kind of wish we had this infrastructure in place earlier, but yeah, I'm completely invested.
I kind of want to see the stadium plans because I haven't heard anything from it.
Yeah.
And in the summertime, I'll give them a year of existence, and then I'll go after them stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I feel like it depends on the pitch owners, though.
I don't care about the fucking pitch owners. If I see them, I'll slap them. I want the stadium. It's in the best interest. Because if the stadium will not increase, I don't care how good you in the selling stuff. There's no way you can
need more attendance.
There's no way you can run the club with 45, like run successfully. This club is in London. That's a big megapolis in the world. You have to have a big a stadium presentation.
They're gonna make like an NFL size stadium.
No, I don't think they do. I don't think we have a place to do it.
I think what they will do, from what I've heard, is that I think they're going to knock the hotel down, behind it, and they're
Yeah,
going to
and
try.
to
What they're
make
going to do is you see like the new camp where it goes out, but it sort of
Mhm.
goes like that, so they fit more seats in, and you're kind of like sitting over the top of the stadium. I think we're going to have something like that. I don't think we're going to be able to do much in terms of positional. I think they're going to just use what they've got and see how much they can extend out, and then from that they'll work out their attendance. But that's what I think they'll do in the long run. But we'll see. Who else we got here? We got is that none? None.
I thought you said something else.
Fraser, you're lying.
I don't know. None
Exclusive.
Is. Sean, what are you saying?
Oh, like I said before, like I seen when Bowley was coming in that they were gonna take more like the LA Dodgers approach with the long deals, getting rid of all of the bad players, like and just starting anew. Like we need an infrastructure here. So I'm 100% behind Bowley. And I think Potter needs some time too, because you see how these kids play for Potter. They play harder for Potter than these veterans we have on the pitch. So I think if we get a bunch of kids here that are going to listen to him with open ears, like we could actually do some things here. And I think we'll be competing like sooner than people expect.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to because I actually feel, especially on social media, there's a lot of people that just think that the owners at the moment are buying with their eyes closed, and there's no there's no philosophy, there's no idea, and I'm just like, how are we questioning this already? How do you know what they want to do specifically from just the
It's jealousy, bro. It's jealousy. That's what it is, because they can see what's going on, but they're hoping that it flops, so they're gonna criticize as much as they can when they can clearly see what our new ownership are doing.
Fair enough. Yeah, I hear you. Don, what's your thoughts on it all as well, man? I think it's all shit. Go on.
Yeah. No, sorry, can you hear me?
You are, but you're a little bit like away at the moment. I don't know.
Let me unplug this mic. Hold on, 2 seconds. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, no, I'm happy with the direction that we're currently going in at the moment. Again, we've just got a lot more clarity now, just in terms of the profile of players we've been looking at. I was quite impressed with the whole Mudryk deal as well. Even though none of us expected him to come in, we definitely needed upgrades up there. It's just good that we've been able to sort that out at least 6 months earlier, as I mentioned the other day. And I think it's just upwards and onwards from here, man. I think I like how they're, how they've sort of come in and things are a little bit more advanced than what we would have initially expected. I didn't expect to have 2 new attackers like this. Again, like I said the other day, I think the injuries were a little bit of a blessing in disguise. But yeah, we definitely need to sort out the midfield this summer. This window. And yeah, I'm just kind of looking forward to the summer now to see who else we bring in.
Yeah, I hear you. Sam says buying players is fine. The problem will be selling/forcing out players with high wages. Do we agree?
I mean, I don't think with Bowley, he did the same thing with the LA Dodgers. He got rid of these players for like not half the price, but a lot less than what he got them for. He's okay with taking a loss.
Yeah,
he's okay with that. He's not stressed about that.
That's one thing I was going to say. I think where a lot of these guys, they weren't under his regime, he's just going to get rid of them. It don't matter how much he gets for them. Yeah. He'll just get rid of them. I don't think he's going to be fussed about, losing out 15 million on a player, losing out 20 million on a player. These guys, like you said, Jem, they're loaded. Like, they've got a lot more money than Roman. It's just funny how a lot of these rivals thought that's it, Chelsea ain't going to spend anymore, when Roman Abramovich had the choice of who he was going to pick. He cares about the club. He was never going to sell us to the Ricketts family. I'm so happy it never went to the Ricketts, because they would have just, I don't know what they would have done to this club. But
fuck the Ricketts.
Won't all sales be profit as well? Wasn't all the debt written off or any type of
Roman
overhang? There was no overhang. So if he wants to sell Ziyech for 5 million, 10 million, he could do that. It's still profit for us. It's green on the books, So I believe he doesn't really care. I mean, he cares, but not as much as Marina would do.
Yeah, it goes back to what Lee Bell said. It's true. Like, I think in regards to the stadium, it will be an expansion. It won't be moving. I think they will also try and continue Chelsea to play and fans still go. But I think they're going to do what I read a little while ago, which is shut off a stand per year. So they'll work on a stand each year, if that makes sense. It might shut off the Matthew Arden and have the rest open. We might have a lower attendance, but maybe it's the only way moving forward rather than getting
that's
moved.
That's long for members trying to get tickets.
That's true. I agree, Lewis. But would you rather go down to the Olympic Park or Wembley Stadium to watch Chelsea.
Oh no, that's not a me problem. I just mean in general.
Yeah, I know, but what would you?
The whole thing was actually not true, because they actually said it that they cannot go to the different place. They have to rebuild the section at a time.
Yeah, they've already said that. I agree.
Yeah, so nobody's moving. That's why I said, Fraser, it's actual lie, because it's already been set the way it's going to be restructured. It's only way it's going to be its section at a time. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, the question will be the position of the stadium, because there is a lot more space behind the hotel, which means they can open it up that side. I just don't know how much on the other side. I can't remember, Lewis. On the flip side, where the Matthew Harding side is a lot of council flats and stuff around there.
Fraser, fair.
Yeah, on the right side, I think there's a cemetery next to the east stand.
There was the housing for sale for 50 mil. There was the housing for sale for 50 mil. On one of the next door to the. So I don't know. Maybe something that the new that Fraser's talking about that I didn't hear about it yet. That may be property available, and then they decided, you know what? Maybe Chelsea can rebuild the whole freaking thing.
We don't know. I don't want us to go Wembley. Wembley's an awful stadium to get to. It's
no,
horrible.
what I'm saying is, like, maybe something new came out that not used to be available, like a property-wise around Stamford Bridge, that all of a sudden start to be available, and they changed the construction thing that says, oh, now we can actually afford to build a new stadium versus rebuild section out of section by section.
I don't think that was the only issue, though.
What?
What is?
Because I'm trying to find it, but like there was this centuries old law where I think King Henry VIII's mount had to be facing Parliament or something, and if the bridge got built over 60k, it would be blocking that. Then there's the train lines, there's the other housing, there's the main road on the other side of the bridge. It's just in a very cramped position, because you see other top 6 stadiums, they're always in like wide areas where they can move further back if they need to.
Yeah.
We don't really have that.
We're very central when you look at where we are in West London, and there isn't a lot of space around where we're positioned. And yeah, I don't know, man. I think, to be honest, I don't see us. I still don't think we'll move. I think we will expand, but expanding what we already have is then has the question of how many more seats can we actually get in the stadium? Because I think it's going to be a 60,000 stadium, in my opinion, between 60 and 70.
Can't build further than that.
It can't be. It can't be a 90. It can't be an 80, because we'd have to, in my opinion, we'd have to literally, like you said, and there's not much space there anyway, literally buy out everyone around it.
No, exactly. Well, I remember the last report is the properties around Stamford Bridge. There's a piece of property around Stamford Bridge was up for sale for 50 mil, which was Todd Bowl at that point went and looked at it. And if you add that 55 piece of property plus the hotel, maybe something new come out, that those two properties plus the Stamford Bridge. Now you have 3 properties: Stamford Bridge, the 50 mil property, and the hotel. Maybe we're saying that now from those 3, you can actually build the new stadium instead of section by section. If that's what we're trying to say, maybe it is.
If that's the case, then we are relocating.
Yes, that's the only thing it is. Yes, exactly. Maybe that's what Fraser may do, but I don't know. It's not about living Stamford Bridge. I don't think pitch owners have problem living Stamford Bridge for 5 years. That's not what they have problems. They have problems permanent relocation. They don't have problems temporary relocation. You see what I'm saying?
It was a little bit. I'll give you an example. It was a little bit like Highbury, when Arsenal got moved from Highbury to the Emirates, because the biggest argument back then was that they didn't want to move purely because of the historic side of it, the route, everything. So like it was more of a, I'm not saying like different Arsenal fans or different Chelsea, but these are people that are very tied into like the history of of the club, that didn't like the idea of being moved from where the roots were, if that makes sense. But yeah, Hassan, what are you saying?
Nothing much, Jam. Same old. How you all been anyway?
It's all right. Doing all right.
I thought you couldn't hear me for a second. Yeah, I was gonna jump in and talk about the whole stadium thing, and I understand the pitch point of view. I think it's like a 160-year contract or whatever it is that Chelsea fans own the name and the stadium rights. So yeah, what Alex is saying is right. It's the permanent relocation and stuff like renaming Stamford Bridge or whatever it is that's potentially money making and permanently away from the site. It's going to cause massive problems and massive issues. I don't mind the upgrades. I think some of the fans that argue that we should keep the stadium the way it is, let's be honest, we're not going to compete if we continue to have a 45,000 seater stadium. Having, I think, something like a 60,000 stadium seater will increase our revenues up to 100 million, and that's including hospitalities and stuff like that. So yeah, from a financial point of view, it makes sense because we'll be able to have enough money we'll basically have money in the realms of, I know Man City have dodgy sponsorship owners, but like we'll have the money to like Liverpool and United essentially, and we could buy the top players and stuff like that. A lot of the
Haven't they
other
already put a bid for that annex land? I think they've dropped about 30 million for it?
That's, I think, what I'm talking about, Bobby. There was a piece of land that opened this summer for sale.
They've gone for it.
Did they go win for it?
They dropped a bid, but clearly it takes time because you've got to get all the council certifications. It's actually even government land anyway, but it was up for sale. So if they get that, it gives them more room to expand. Definitely, their project to expand is on the Stamford Bridge site.
Yeah. It's expand on the Stamford Bridge site. It was never about relocation permanently. That's what we're talking about. So if the hotel and we take a bid for that next door subdivision and the stadium itself, if those three pieces of land will make sense to not just add stands to it, but to build the new stadium, it doesn't have to be 60. It could be up to 80. It doesn't matter what size of it at that point. If you have a piece of land in London, and remember, that's expensive side of London, not like poor neighborhoods. That's expensive side of London. I wouldn't pass it ball to actually do the things that NFLs and all that kinds of stuff.
And with how rich the consortium are, they'll probably slap the money.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Wait, someone was saying something earlier before I cut him off.
Up the Chelsea.
Someone
Sorry,
speaking?
I cut you off. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No. Go and say your point. I was gonna wait until you said your point there, Bobby.
Anyone seen the article about Tuchel potentially being on the sniff?
Yeah.
That was fun.
Tottenham want to be Chelsea again.
Proper Chelsea.
Wannabes.
I've had to watch Havertz and Mount every week. I'll be on the sniff too. Oh, wait.
Tuchel going through it, man. He probably still misses Chelsea.
Tuchel will get fed up eventually,
missing
man.
London,
They'll
man.
do the same thing. What happened to what's happened to Conte will happen to Tuchel. He'll get fed up eventually as well.
Let's hope he don't end up at
Without
Tottenham.
Daniel Levy gets like 10-20 million a player, bro, he's gonna suffer.
Yeah, I hear all these Tottenham fans, they want Tuchel. I don't know how I feel about that.
He's still a great coach, you know. He I don't know. I hope he don't just go to Tottenham.
Going to Tottenham, like, why?
The thing that confuses me about Spurs, is that they are happy paying these managers like crazy salaries. Like I'm hearing Conte's on 20 million a year or something ridiculous like that. I'm sure Mourinho was on a big salary as well, but then they don't want to invest in their team or pay their top players the top wages. I don't understand how they're run. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me.
They've just been living off Harry Kane for the last decade, but he's about to fuck off. So back to mid-table for Tottenham.
It was inevitable that Bayern or someone of that caliber goes in for Kane.
Did Lampard get sacked?
Nah.
They keep saying is he going to get sacked? You know, they're building it up every week.
West Ham v Everton is basically El Sakiko. Whoever loses is going out.
El Sakiko 2.0, man.
Apparently, Moyes might leave and then potentially be the replacement for Lampard at Everton.
Imagine them two just swap close.
It's just like you're going sideways. Like, what the fuck?
That's David Moyes for you.
So are we gonna get it right back?
What do you guys think of Kane to Chelsea though? If somehow he wanted to come over to this side, I know they're not going to make it easy for us to try buy him.
I will gladly take him.
I would love to take someone.
Conte.
Ivan Toney.
No, what's his name? Ivan Toney is going to be in banned for 3 years. Yeah, what's his name? Lukaku.
Is that for sure?
Lukaku.
If Lukaku goes over there, I don't have problem.
I wouldn't mind Harry Kane. I just don't think Tottenham will sell to us. I can see him going United. I can see him going United, but if they have new ownership by then and they get Osimhen, for example, Kane will just be lingering around, and he's not going to want to stay at Spurs another season. They'll probably want to get some money for him because his contract
reports
expires.
Bayern are knocking on the door for him.
Yeah, his contract expires in 2024, so they're going to want to make some money.
He's staying in England.
He's definitely staying in England. He wants to break the record.
Exactly.
That's what
I'm
saying.
Break
so
that
I
record.
think
So he's going United. He's probably going United.
I'm not gonna lie.
It all depends on their owner. The thing is, Lewis, I think it's going to go United as well. But if they bring in new owners by then, and these owners are ambitious and actually have money, they might actually fork out the money needed for Osimhen. I know Napoli ain't the easiest to deal with, but money talks. Do you know what I mean? And they want to make a big statement.
Yeah, but Kane's a bigger name. They'll go
Kane's
for
a bigger name on a free transfer as well.
Plus, Osimhen, they literally will not get rid of him. They won't sell him. They're top of the league.
I don't see it happening.
Champions. No reason.
We'll have to see, man, because United...
And I can't lie, I think Bayern going for Kai.
Oh, yeah, that's inevitable. I think they wanted him from the start.
Oh, yeah, they can take it, man. They can take that.
So, I can't lie, Kane ain't ruining that for me either. Bayern go get Kai, Kane can go United, and everyone will be happy.
Honestly, I think with Harry Kane, I think he's destined to go United or he's going to stay at Spurs. But I'll be honest, depending on who is actually available in the summer, if he wants to come, I'll take him, mate. I'll be honest.
Where's that destined to go to United? Is it 1970s or 80s? That's when the destiny go to United only worked.
The thing about Harry Kane to United,
and even the 80s was Liverpool, bro.
Yeah, not 80s, like more 90s. Like that's the destiny. Like that's when the Manchester United players bought the players from the low. Before that, it was Liverpool. There is no destiny. I don't understand.
I don't think destiny, but I think it's realistic. United need a striker. Kane is likely going to stay in England.
I actually think it's not because I don't think Ten Hag likes that kind of player. Ten Hag does not like lazy players, and Harry Kane is at the age where he cannot run as much. I think you're completely misunderstanding.
I think Potter and Todd Bowley.
I think Potter is more suited for Harry Kane. He wants the England rebuild at Chelsea the way he goes for these English talent players. But
I did see a report earlier from one of the United sources saying how Erik ten Hag would rather Osimhen over Kane. So I think it's going to be between those guys. But realistically, like Lewis said, I think Kane is going to go United. Tottenham ain't going to want to sell to us. There's no way. That's the star boy.
I don't know. I'll take Kane.
What do you guys think of the Rice? What do you think of the Rice news that came out about him potentially going Arsenal? And they also mentioned United in there, which I just don't see happening. But what do you guys think of that?
They're just doing that to keep the price up. They want to be able to sell him for 100 million if he's going to go in the summer. So of course they're going to set up some phony bidding war.
Actually, Bobby, there's the reports that Chelsea was never as much interested in Rice than actually people think.
Just 3 years of needless PR
for years of media opposite. Yes.
But he'll
He's
still
actually-
improve our team, though.
But he
Brown
no.
merchants.
He will still
from
improve
this
the squad, though.
no, it will improve this squad. You're right. Is this squad what is the baseline of improvement? Because
What do you mean
even
he'll
me
improve
joining
the
them
squad?
will
He'll
improve that
any
squad.
squad that he
Least I'll
goes.
kick somebody's teeth out for not performing.
He'll
I think-
improve any squad he goes to, bro.
I think we can get anyone that can do what Rice does for less. I think he's just overrated.
Like
It
who?
doesn't matter
Give me
whether
some
we're
names.
interested in him or not. If they attach our name
like
to
names.
any player, the
I like
price
Brown.
goes up.
Prices go up.
Guys, yeah, it's been a good show. Don't be wrong. I've got to shoot because I'm actually working in between all this, and I've had a really busy day today, so I've got to get back into work and stuff. But enjoyed the show. It's been good to discussing the new owners, the plans, the ideas of what we think they're going to be doing, what they've done up to this point as well. So I've enjoyed the show. Still over 500 people here. Even though I'm finishing, I'm pretty sure Lewis is going live, isn't he? Lewis?
Nah.
Lewis is lazy.
All right. Well, Lewis isn't going live. I'm sorry,
That's
guys.
why I'm here.
You lied to them.
Got 500 people here, Lewis. You're going to take them over there with you, mate. You know what I
Wish
mean?
there was something to chat about, but I will save it for tomorrow.
Save
When's
it
the
for
next
tomorrow.
game?
Next game is
He's
Saturday.
celebrating with Christensen, man. That's what he's doing.
next game is
we like
Liverpool. We need to do a match preview in between that. I think we've got transfer talk to do as well. So yeah, tomorrow and Friday could possibly be 2 shows. I'll keep you guys posted on that one. But yeah, guys, smash the like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know your thoughts on what the new owners have done up to this point as well. And yeah, go and follow Lewis on Carefree Lewis as well. You can see Alex there and everyone else as well. And yeah, big up to you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll be back again very, very soon. Take care. See you later.
AC